So unless you've been hiding under a rock, the entire world right now is talking about Switch 2 and the upcoming Nintendo Direct, because Nintendo actually announced shortly before their investors meeting that both are coming. And the fact that we're getting a Switch 2 reveal sometime this fiscal year is super exciting. But of course, the more exciting thing I think at the moment is what's coming sooner, which is a June Nintendo Direct. Now, Nintendo came out and stated, we will be holding a Nintendo Direct this June regarding the Nintendo Switch software lineup for the latter half of 2024. But please be aware that there will be no mention of the Nintendo Switch successor during that presentation. Now, this is one of the first times ever Nintendo has just come out and said expect a Nintendo Direct next month. So we have tons of time to speculate and try to figure out exactly what's going on with this show, and I can't wait to try to figure out what they're going to show off, because there's a lot of potential even for the current Nintendo Switch right now. But there's even potential for something a little special that they could give us at the end, and I'll talk about that towards the end of this video. But real quick, before we get started, so many of you watching this video right now are still not yet subscribed, and we are super close to 300,000 subscribers, so stop what you're doing. Let's see how many we can get from this one video. Just like it up, subscribe it up, if that's a thing. But yeah, let's just try to reach this 300,000 goal as soon as possible. We are super close. Thank you so much. But let's jump into what this June Nintendo Direct can have in store for us. Well, it's absolutely no secret that Nintendo has had a pretty slow start to this year so far, with a couple of small titles and nothing really big or any big announcements to get us hype. In fact, Nintendo just altogether skipped the February Nintendo Direct, and it looked like we were going to have something big in March, because the rumors were partner Direct in February with a big Switch 2 reveal in March. But of course, there was that quote-unquote internal delay that changed everything around, and things have been pretty boring up until now. And now Nintendo's slowly opening the floodgates where we get to see and expect some big things coming this year, including the first Nintendo Direct since September of last year. That means with this June coming up, it will be a whopping 9 months since we've heard from Nintendo with a first-party general Nintendo Direct, which is a very, very long time. Now, the partner showcase in February was pretty good, and it offered tons of really cool third-party games, but that's just the thing. There was no first party. There was none of those Nintendo goodness that we were looking for. But we're going to get all that Nintendo goodness here in the month of June, which is super exciting. But the question is, what goodness are we getting? With Nintendo pretty much just sitting here saying, yeah, Switch 2 is coming, and it's probably going to be coming by the end of this fiscal year, which a lot of people are predicting the beginning of next year around the March timeframe. What in the world does Nintendo still have to announce that's all exclusively for the rest of this year and for current Nintendo Switch? I mean, what's left? I mean, personally, I'm in the mindset where I don't really care what this show shows off. I mean, I'll just be excited to get really anything interesting, considering the fact that the next Switch is around the corner. I mean, I can wait. Even with rumors suggesting that the next Switch is going to be revealed towards the fall of this year, I definitely don't really have anything that has super need for the current Nintendo Switch. It's already done so much for me the last 7 years. But even with that said, we still can get some really good surprises. And let me kind of name some of the things that definitely could happen towards the end of this Switch lifecycle. Let's start off with the juicy one. Obviously, Metroid is probably the biggest elephant in the room right now. With Metroid Prime 4 still with no release date coming up, or really no information given at all, Metroid Prime could have a very big showing at this Nintendo Direct. In fact, I could see the whole end of the show being like a 7 to 10 minute dedicated segment just to Metroid, and let me tell you what I'm talking about. So straight up, Metroid Prime 2 and 3 still need to come out. And with this probably being the last Nintendo Direct for the current Switch, there's a very good chance we could get both of them in this show, and they both could end up being shadow drops. I doubt it based on this year being pretty empty until we move on to next year. They might want to save this for the holiday season, but yeah, something in me is telling me that these two games are coming. Whether it's going to be a collection pack and whether they're just a small upgraded version of the original versions, along the lines of something like Pikmin 1+2 that came out, just something that's slightly up-resed, or maybe they completely remaster it like they did with Metroid Prime 1. So it's really hard to say, but I definitely think this is a 100% thing that we are going to get in this show. Like, I have little to no doubt that these games are coming. And I know you guys want me to talk about another specific Metroid Prime game. Metroid Prime Hunters. No, but seriously, we'll get to the real one at the end of this video. But like I've said multiple times already, this is the year of remakes and remasters and ports of older games, and I feel like it's a perfect way to send off the current Switch. Just get everything else you possibly can from past consoles onto this Switch, so that way Switch 2 can really just focus on a tons of, nothing but new things. That would be awesome. So what else is there? Well, of course, Zelda needs something for this year, and why not Wind Waker and Twilight Princess? These are games that we've been desperately waiting for so long, and they're already HD from the Wii U. Just bring them over. Just directly port them from the Wii U. It's kind of crazy that into the 7th year of the Nintendo Switch, we still have not seen these games on this console. So I am definitely expecting at least, and I mean the very least, one of these games to come. It should be both of them, but at least one, right? Both? Come on. I mean, Nintendo, come on. Nintendo could also dive back into the GameCube era. I mean, there's still one specific game that I think a lot of people are waiting for, and that's F-Zero GX, where, of course, we got F-Zero 99. Now is the time to take it a bit further and give us F-Zero GX. This is the time to do it, where the Switch has one of the biggest Nintendo install bases of all time. Get people familiar with this franchise and with this series and see where it goes with just a really cool remake of F-Zero GX, where eventually you can make a new F-Zero for the next Switch. This is the perfect way to do so, in my opinion. So I'm hoping that there is a small chance that we could see F-Zero GX return. There's been lots of rumors in the past, but still nothing really concrete coming from it. And maybe since we're getting Luigi's Mansion 2, we can get yet again another 3DS game coming over, which is obviously Kid Icarus Uprising. I mean, come on, we really desperately need this game to make a return. This game was so good, and it still blows my mind how we still haven't seen another installment in the Kid Icarus franchise, let alone just a remake of this game, or even a remaster at that. If they literally just do the same thing they did with Luigi's Mansion 2, I'd be more than happy. And of course, having an online mode to play in as well would also be a lot of fun, especially considering the fact that Sakurai himself has come out and said multiple different times that he would love to see this game remade on a current Nintendo Switch. So I really hope there's a chance we could see this, and this would probably be one of my biggest, most exciting announcements during the whole show. If we get a Kid Icarus Uprising HD, I truly don't know what else there could possibly be that I want from Nintendo. I mean, truly, they have just been doing so amazing recently. So I really hope that we get something Kid Icarus related soon, because the franchise can't just die off. There's no way after having such an amazing outing on the 3DS. And speaking of the 3DS, there's a very good chance we could see Kirby get some stuff this year. I mean, there's 2 games on the 3DS that are just kind of left on that console that would be great to have on the Switch, especially if it was like a duo collection pack of Triple Deluxe and Planet Robobot. That would be pretty awesome. These are 2 of the best Kirby games in the franchise, in my opinion, and last year they did Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, so why couldn't they do deluxe versions of these 2 games as well? Yeah, that'd be Kirby Triple Deluxe Deluxe. Yeah, that's what I want. That would actually be a very funny title, so I kind of hope they do something like that. But yeah, Triple Deluxe and Planet Robobot are both very good games, and I would love to see both of them, even though I don't think it's going to be these 2, at least not yet. I do think there's a future where we see both of these games come out, but I think right now we could actually see a Wii U Kirby game come. Because if you haven't seen my recent video, Nintendo has filed 2 brand new trademarks, not trademark renewals, brand new trademarks, for Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, or the Rainbow Paintbrush for other territories, and the game Stretch Mo from the 3DS. Now, Kirby and the Rainbow Curse is actually a successor to Kirby and the Canvas Curse on the DS, and would be kind of cool to see again. How would they do this without a stylus, as it was a main game to be played on a stylus of the Wii U gamepad? They could definitely use a cursor kind of on the screen, because there are IR pointers technically in the Joy-Con, and even motion controls for the, Pro Controller, so it could be done. It might be a little sloppy, but it definitely can work. They've made workarounds happen with Skyward Sword and other games such as Mario Maker 2, so there's technically a way that they could make this happen. It is a weird Kirby game to bring back though, but at the end of the day, it still sounds like something Nintendo would do, and this trademark is very suspicious, so I'm kind of expecting something along these lines of this actually happening. And of course, with the brand new trademark for Stretch Mo, we could get either the exact same game with all the DLC packs slapped together from Stretch Mo in the 3DS, or maybe something along the lines of a sequel, the same way we got Pushmo World as a successor to Pushmo Mo from the 3DS to the Wii U, we could get something like a Stretch Mo World for the Switch, where it's just bigger and a more content version, or just maybe it's just a port of the same game with all the packs put together. It's hard to say, or maybe it's just an entire collection of all the Push Mo, Stretch Mo, Crash Mo games slapped into one, which would also be pretty cool. But I'm kind of hoping it's just like one brand new title. I think that would be awesome as well. Just a brand new Stretch Mo game or a brand new Push Mo World game, something along those lines. But it looks like something Stretch Mo is going to happen. There's also apparently been very credible rumors of some game being developed at Nintendo with the codename Banquet, and lots of people such as Game Explain has dug into various different codenames for Nintendo games and found out that this relates to either a Kirby game, as there's different food-related Kirby names for their games, and also Mario Party, as Super Mario Party's file name was Buffet, so Banquet could be another Super Mario Party, which would make sense as one of the few brand new titles we could get this year as a brand new Mario Party, because we're definitely due. It's been a couple of years since the last Mario Party with Mario Party Superstars, which was a cultivation of mini games and boards from past Mario Party games, so there's a good chance we could finally see the true return to Mario Party with actual boards and fun gameplay with mini games and all that jazz, but actually doing what Mario Party has done in the past, and this could be the true Super Mario Party 2 that we're hoping it could be. And of course, we can't forget about Fire Emblem. Apparently, there is a Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War remake coming from the SNES onto the current Switch, and I don't know much else about this. This has just been a rumor that's been going around for a very long time, and that we've been waiting to see if this is true or not, and I definitely believe this is true. It's been a little while since we had something Fire Emblem, so I'm going to say that this is definitely a true rumor, and we could be seeing this soon as well. And the last game to port over that just kind of makes sense is Xenoblade. This would kind of fill out pretty much everything else with just a few little exceptions. I mean, this would be a really good way to bring all the games over from the Wii U and past consoles to Switch, because we have every other Xenoblade game on the current Switch. We're just missing Xenoblade X, which they could once again just port straight over or maybe slightly enhance. So yeah, I am kind of surprised as well that this one still hasn't happened, but I guess there's still time for this to be an announcement. Now trust me, I know a lot of people are going to see all these games and say, that's it? Nothing but remakes and remasters, and the only new game maybe being a new Mario Party? Yeah, I know. It definitely is something very small for a Nintendo Direct, especially a general, but you also have to look at the time period that we are in. We are probably about to get a huge blowout of crazy brand new first-party Nintendo games coming to this next console, because we're due for so many, but at the time being, it's completely fine to get some smaller titles. I mean, think of the end of the Wii U where we really didn't get anything besides like Paper Mario Color Splash. So yes, the fact that we're still getting pretty much a brand new game every single month is kind of insane, especially at the very end of the life cycle of a console. So I'm happy with whatever Nintendo gives us here. But with that said, is there any potential for another new title to be coming this year? I mean, I suppose we could still get another Mario Sports game. We still are missing Mario Baseball, maybe something with Mario Basketball, but there's only two games that really come to mind that could maybe squeeze out on the current Switch as one of the last big titles. Now, we haven't had anything Donkey Kong at all besides Tropical Freeze, which was a direct port for the most part, with a new Funky Kong Easy mode added. So there's a very good chance that maybe we get another 2D Donkey Kong, or maybe even a 3D Donkey Kong. Could you imagine that's the way we end off the current Switch? Maybe that's the holiday title, or maybe there is a still big Donkey Kong game coming either at the end or at the very, very beginning of next year, which would be bittersweet, because at the same time, I would kind of hope Nintendo would save something like that for the next console, but at the same time, we're so due for Donkey Kong since Tropical Freeze, which was like 2014. I really do hope we see something Donkey Kong related in this show, and you never know. And the only other game, of course, our Metroid talk. Here we are, talking about Metroid Prime Federation Force. Okay, I promise you I'm done now. Metroid Prime 4, of course, has been silent ever since its restarted development so many years ago. And we've been patiently waiting for literally just anything. Maybe some pictures, maybe just some screenshots, some drawings, some concept art, something of this game. And we haven't gotten anything. And for a while, I've been very much on the train of we are not getting Metroid Prime on this current Switch. And I think there's a chance that we at least see the thing here. Now, I'm going to say this right now, I still don't think Metroid Prime 4 is coming to current Switch, and the only way possible is if somehow this game is the holiday game for this year, but I don't see how in the world they could go all the way to June before even showing this thing off for the first time and saying, oh, it's coming in a couple of months for this holiday. I feel like that marketing and advertisement just isn't smart. So if anything, Nintendo definitely should at least drop a trailer or some type of cinematic cutscene or something relating to the game coming to the next console, and that's how I kind of want to segue into the end of this video. So we know Nintendo said that there's only going to be games focused on the current Nintendo Switch, and they're not going to be talking about Switch 2, but you don't have to talk about Switch 2 to reveal games. You don't at all. In fact, they could end the show with a huge Switch 2 game and just say coming in 2025. They don't really have to say anything else about the new console. It's already announced, making this even more likely. They could very well say, here is Metroid Prime 4, and then just show a 2025 slate at the end of the show. They have done this multiple times with revealing big games in the next years. They never just focus and stick on the current year. So I think there's a chance we could see our first Switch 2 game at the end of this show. And of course, you know it's not a Nintendo Land video unless I mention this. I think there is finally a really, and I mean a really good chance we could see the next 3D Mario here. This is June time. This is normally where there would be a big E3 presentation. Nintendo is gearing up to reveal some big games for the current Switch, but of course the world already knows because you let them know that there is a Switch 2 coming. What do you do at the end of the show? Do you just show another remake or a remaster or something small like a Mario Party game? No, you blow everyone's minds by showing either the launch game or another major game coming to the Switch 2 year one. This just sounds perfect. You got everybody very content with some really cool remakes and remasters and some, maybe even a couple small surprises for the end of the current Switch, but then you start building that hype. Before you get that official presentation for the next console, you show off what game is going to be coming with it. Remember, we knew Breath of the Wild was coming to the new Switch like years in advance. So I think it's time, especially if it's coming at the beginning of next year. We're entering that period where it's only like 10 to 11 months until that happens. We have to see what this game is going to be that we're playing with this new console when it drops. And I think everyone in the world is in agreement that it's either going to be Mario Kart or a brand new 3D Mario. We could finally see this brand new 3D Mario after 7 years of waiting since Odyssey, which is kind of crazy. But Mario Kart also would blow the entire world apart, seeing the finally brand new Mario Kart since Mario Kart 8 back on the Wii U so long ago. It's finally time to see what this next Mario Kart is in the evolution of the series, and I think one of these could definitely happen, whether it's Metroid Prime 4, whether it is a brand new 3D Mario, whether it is Mario Kart. I think those are your best bets for any last minute surprises, as in big games coming next year to the next console that they could show at the very end of this Nintendo Direct as a one last thing. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Definitely give me your opinions down below. What do you think Nintendo's going to do in this Direct? Is it going to be huge? Is it going to be relatively tiny? Or is it going to be more surprising than we even think? Definitely let me know down below, and make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.